Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Wandering Road podcast. I'm your host Chris, alongside my co-host Dean, and back on the show is Mr. PolarBear, the host of the Highway of the Hidden podcast. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are y'all doing?
We're doing great. Glad to have you back on, and I'm excited to go into the topics that we have for today. So we might be going down a few different rabbit holes here. You said you got some Dogman for us, some Texas ghost stories, and maybe some Bigfoot too. So I'm excited for this one.
There's a town where I originally grew up. My grandparents lived there. It's basically the same town that the my first haunting happened with my brother. It's Brazoria, and so they got a thing called the hanging tree. It's been around forever, and it's not. It didn't get its name because of what people think. So I'll go into it. So basically, it's the old Masonic oak. Okay, so around 1915 and 1920 in Brazoria, there gave this tree the nickname the hanging tree because they had found two men dressed in black suits and white t-shirts swaying gently in the breeze. And this tree, to give people an idea, is in an older part of Brazoria, fairly dark most of the time. It's right next to a Mason's Lodge, which is why it's got the name Masonic Oak, and it's fenced off. I don't think you can get to it anymore. I haven't been there in years. Maybe you can now. But that's why they call it the hanging tree. And the legend, like the scariest legend that they say happened there, was from this woman. She had been walking home. It was late at night. And I think she had left the church service. And as she's walking home, she sees this little boy on the road. Well, she's not thinking anything of it. She's like, maybe his just parents are out late or whatever, right? So she goes past the little boy. And every time she turns around, he's getting bigger and getting closer to her till she got to her house and she slammed the door, right? By the time she got to her house, I think she said this thing was as big as like, or I guess a man for that time period. I'm not really sure. And then when she got to the door, closed it, locked it, the beating on her door didn't stop till morning.
I'm assuming that the proximity of the tree to the Masonic Lodge it kind of adds to the mystique and the creepiness of the story. Freemasons is not, there's a lot of people who are Freemasons, and I'm not one of them. And I think I had some family who were, so I vaguely understand. There are some mysteries that swirl about the history and possibly, negative connotations that a secret society has in American culture. But like, do you have a take on that in Texas about like growing up around Freemasons, or that being a part of the perspective? Do you think that puts any gravity towards the story at all? Or is it kind of just like, oh, it just happens to be, it's a tree near a Masonic lodge?
I think it could have something to do with it because from my understanding and my research into the Masons, I call them mom and pop Masons, right? They're just your regular guys. They work a 9 to 5 and they go to these lodges and they sit around with a bunch of other old men and they tell stories. There's not much to it. But once you reach certain levels, you have to make sacrifices to go higher. There's one where they put you in a room, and if you spit on the cross, then you'll go higher than the guy that said, no, I'm a Christian till the end. Them finding them bodies there could have been a sacrifice, right? Because they were in black suits and white ties. And now that you mention that, and I put it together, you got the black and white checkered floor. Everything black and white and put together symbolizes the Masonic legacy or what they do. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was a sacrifice and somebody had to get to that next level to become wealthy, because there is a lot of old money in that county. A lot of old money, a lot of corruption, because there's 3 of the major chemical plants in the world are in that county. In the Lake Jackson Lodge, you can read about Robert Dow, who started the Dow Corporation from Michigan, and he was a Mason in the Texas branch.
Yeah, see, that's what I love about stories like this. You can go any direction. It doesn't have to necessarily be supernatural. It could be, crime related, layers upon layers of corruption and stuff.
Mhm.
Who knows? Maybe like a swirl of both. As we know, like, there's some terrible things that happen in this world, and there seems to be a correlation with some supernatural, creepy things happening after the fact. And we've talked about like areas with negative energy before and stuff. So
dig into the hanging tree. And then I think when I was on here last, we went over Britt Bailey and his war with Stephen F. Austin. Somebody had brought that up the other day. It's a weird story. It's a weird ghost story, but like I was reading about him, and he would shoot at people's feet and make them dance and things like that. And he was just an all around asshole. My mom found his death certificate at the county, and I was like, oh man, I need to get a hold of that. I'd like to put it up. And she was like, yeah, he's dead, buried here. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. But there's several of them. The Hellhounds of Santa Ana were basically these hounds that were used to track him back in whenever he was running around. I'm not up to date on the Texas Revolution. They tracked him, and somehow basically the Hellhounds follow him around, and you can hear them. And they're the ones that led the Texas Army to find him behind the tree where he was hiding. They followed the Hellhounds, supposedly.
Wait. So who did the Hellhounds lead?
The Texas Army, I think is what it says it was. The Texas
Lead to who?
Santa Ana.
Oh, you talking about Santa Ana? Oh,
Yeah,
the Mexican general.
Yeah,
Okay.
so when they caught him or whatever, and they gave him, I think they ended up giving him back to Mexico, but when they caught him, that was from the Hellhound, supposedly, is what they say.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of Texas history, it's like that, though. It's almost ghostly related, or you can look into it and find some kind of paranormal thing that happened to somebody somewhere.
So the story goes that Santa Ana made a pact with the devil for the
Mhm.
Hellhounds, and then they turned on him.
They didn't turn on him. Apparently, he was outrunning the devil, and they couldn't find him. And so the Hellhounds, they sent them to gather him, just like the Robert Johnson story. You know, Hellhounds at My Door, that guy.
Yes, yeah, Robert Johnson. I'm familiar with him. I
And
actually
it's-
have one of his albums.
Oh,
his-
really? That's pretty
His
cool.
records. Yeah.
I mean, you take it with a grain of salt, but it's still pretty cool to listen to and hear about or read about. And that's why I like the paranormal and history so much, is because there's so much tied in together.
I don't mean to give you an ambush question, but are there any other like paranormal stories in Texas related to like maybe American Civil War ghosts or anything that you know of like that?
I do know one. I was going to do this episode, but I'll give it to you. There's a town called Lake Jackson, and it was owned by Abner Jackson. It was his plantation. And the story goes he had two sons. Both went off to the Civil War. They both came back. Jealousy and rage, either the younger or the oldest one, and he cut his head off and threw it in the lake. And that's how they got and they say that his ghost still haunts that area looking for his head. And apparently it was on TV, the American Travel Channel, I think is what it's called. But they did like My House is Haunted type show, and they were in Lake Jackson, and they were near where dude's head got cut off, and the house was like, and I think it was a lesbian couple living in there, and the house just went berserk, dude. Like there was so much shit happening. I think they were getting attacked, things thrown at them, hearing noises. They couldn't sleep, like all kinds of stuff. And so I think that's one of them, because I know they fought in the Civil War, but I don't. Which one killed which one? There's so much they find. Like they dug up a slave cemetery to put a hotel in. Like
What?
Like right on top of it.
Where?
Like right fucking on top of it. Man, if y'all were here, I could take you to it and be like, that's it. So you go down 288, and as soon as you cross over the bridge in Lake Jackson, you look to the right, and there's a patch of woods that's cleared, and there's a brand new, it's not brand new, it's been around 5-6 years, maybe 10 years, but it's one of them fancy hotel suite, and they dug up a slave cemetery right there and put the hotel right in the middle of it.
Who thought that would be a good idea?
Because it's built on marsh and swamp and everything else, and they always find these random graveyards, and then they just put shit on them. I remember one time I was working for this company, and they sent us off on this pipeline way out in the woods, and me and this guy were walking, and I came across a fucking tombstone, just random tombstone. And he was like, I was like, have you ever seen that? He's like, no, not here. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. That's fucking weird. But I know there's like a law, if you own property and it's a loophole, and you bury yourself on the property when you die, you'll never have to pay taxes on it again. So maybe that's why. I don't know. But
Well, it kind of defeats the fucking purpose. I don't want to pay taxes now.
yeah. I don't want to go down that road too soon, get everybody fired up, get us all canceled. No, I don't want to
Right.
start that. There's the farms of Lake Jackson, which is like the hoity-toity neighborhood down there. Supposedly at night you hear chains getting dragged across the concrete. It's from after they abolished slavery, they sent prisoners of war down here to work the fields and stuff, and it's them dragging the chains across, beating on people's doors and stuff like that.
I remember growing up for many years. To me, Texas, like in my mind, growing up in Western Pennsylvania, it was just like this huge place where it was like it could be hot and cold and like that, but there was nothing ever except for like maybe everything's big in Texas, like that sort of thing. But I never had like a negative connotation about Texas. It was just like there. But then in recent years, Texas became this like hub for people to come, like for varieties of reasons. And then people started thinking of Texas as this like parts of Texas as this really wonderful area where it's cheaper to live and it's beautiful and like all the yada yada. And now it's back to like it's snapped back. Like people are like, oh no, Texas is like, I don't know. That's the feeling. That's my perception or what I hear about Texas, not my direct perception, but like I think it's funny that you have such a massive state in the country that kind of seemingly went under the radar for a lot of other states in the periphery, and then suddenly it just got a ton of attention, both positive and negative. I think you could probably write books upon books about the crazy things that happen across Texas. And what's the atmosphere living where you live? Have you seen it change over time that's been happening from your youth till now? Do you think that like plays a part into it?
I think a lot of like the people are changing. Growing up, right? Like living in Texas, you always were told like it's this great state. And it is, don't get me wrong, but like more people are coming from out of different states and they're trying to change everything, and it feels hotter down here than what it did when I was growing up. Just a lot of things have changed, I feel like. Well, I live in a small town now, so I didn't grow up here, so I can't say this place changed, but I know like my hometown has changed significantly. Like it's gotten worse. Like it's not a good place anymore.
Negative energies just seem to like bubble up over the last like decade or so. That's why I asked the question, because every time we talk about supernatural, ghost story, what all the anything you can imagine, it's always those people in those places that have the most stories, or the crazy, or the the stories that seem to be the most real.
Let's go to the Dogman stuff. I hear people talk about Dogman all the time, and I always think like you're full of shit because I don't know. I'm one of the people that has a hard time believing in Dogman. I 100% believe in Bigfoot. I'm back and forth with Dogman.
Well, Dogman has been around forever, right? It's like ancient times. I don't remember if I said this last time or not, but they're mortal enemies, Bigfoot and Dogman. And you usually won't see them in the same area. You'll have a Dogman or you'll have a Bigfoot. You may have both, but it's very rarely. And so I was just looking around like, oh man, I wonder if there's any in Texas. And I found like 3 really good encounters that happened in Texas. One of them actually happened in my home county, which is crazy. It happened in 1994. I was 4 years old. It goes, I was driving on an unpaved back county road. Suddenly there was something in front of my driver's side headlights. I didn't see it until it was there. I didn't see it running across the road. It was like it showed up. It was traveling to the left. I caught that glimpse of it, and then it was gone. I had hit the brakes when I saw it, so I was then going around 20 miles an hour and looked in the direction it went and saw nothing. It was flat salt grass prairie and no trees, so I should have been able to see it. At the time, with the knowledge I had, only one name I had for it was werewolf. Now I would call it a Dogman. And the description is a bipedal black wolf. Its legs were real skinny, backwards looking, and it was hunched over so that the arms hung low. It was at least 5 foot tall, bent over like it was. If it was standing, I would guess it would gain at least 1.5 feet. Had a thick torso, but not too thick, with long hair like a small cape across its shoulders and upper back down to the end of the shoulder blade. The rest of its body was covered with short hair, almost hairless, and it had a shaggy tail. I found that on the Dogman Encounters Radio website, just because I thought that was cool that it was in my county. But yeah, a lot of the encounters are the same, man. So there's like 2 different types. There's a werewolf type, which you see in like movies and things, and there's like this Bigfoot type. It looks like a Bigfoot but with a wolf head. It really didn't get popular. The name Dogman, I don't think came out until the 90s with Beast of Brer Road. I think they started calling that a Dogman. And for the longest time, we just believed in werewolves, right? Werewolves, and you could transform and shapeshift back to humans. But these things, they stay in wolf form forever till they die. And there's so much about them that's pretty eerie, man. One story I heard, a kid and his dad were hunting. They shot at this fucking thing. All right. It was chasing deer. They shot at it. Boom. Missed it. Dad's like, let's get out of here. So they haul ass back home, right? Later that night, the son wakes up screaming, telling the dad, there's something outside. There's something outside. The dad grabs his gun, goes out, and on his house, he has like the sliding glass door. He looks out there, and that fucking Dogman is standing there. It followed him 30 miles, bro, till they got back home because they shot at it.
So that implies intelligence, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you shoot it. Yeah, it's not just some wild animal. What were you going to say, Chris?
I was going to say it followed them for 30 fucking miles.
30 miles, dude. They're apex predators, man. They
Did it try to do anything to them, or just follow?
Yeah, it tried to get in the fucking house.
Oh shit!
it wanted the kid that shot at him. It wanted to eat him, I guess. But most encounters that you hear about, they're not violent. You get such a primitive fear that you feel like it's violent, but sometimes it's just them moving, right? they're not just mindless hunters. So they have a brain, they think, and they know what's going on. There's a guy had one follow him for years, forever, all because of something he did to it. And this same Dogman kept fucking following him until he said it. He woke up one day and it was in his damn house. It got in his house and he looked down the stairs. The thing had one eye. It was all gray. It had definitely aged from the first time he saw it. And it just growled at him. And then I don't know if they went to war or whatever, but the Dogman left and never saw it again.
He spent all those years trying to
Yeah.
break into his house.
Yeah.
Just
He was
growl
like,
at him.
Hey,
Yeah,
asshole,
right.
Fuck you. That's all, it's like
Wait.
that's his version of showing up and just saying "fuck you, man," and then he just had that. I'm good now. I just had to say that.
I had to let you know that you screwed up. A lot of the Dogman encounters are like that because I guess if they are violent, you won't make it. You got to think it's like a giant German Shepherd biting you. You know, you're probably not going to make it. And it's 9 to 10 foot tall. I mean, these things go to war with Bigfoot and fight to the death. And Bigfoot.
why do they go to war with the Bigfoot?
So the
What's
legend,
the lore behind that?
the legend is, this is what I've heard and I've picked up over the years, but the legend is that Dogman were terrorizing a group of Native Americans out in Mississippi. So I'm guessing that would be the Choctaw. So they came up with a plan. They said, hey, we got to fight like Jurassic Park. We need more teeth, right? Need more teeth. And they went and got the T-Rex. Same kind of deal, right? So they sent their two best warriors into this Bigfoot graveyard and they stole the head of a Bigfoot that was dead. Well, one of the warriors, as soon as they picked the head up, they like completely devoured him. They killed him. Like the Bigfoot should beat him down right there. So the other one got the head and he rode. He rode fast, he rode hard, and he got to the Dogman territory, threw the head, took a right and hauled ass. Well, after that, the Bigfoot ran in the Dogman territory. The Dogman killed one and the Bigfoot killed 10. And then they just kept fighting. And it's been forever ever since.
So yet again, humans causing shit. Humans,
Yeah.
that's what I'm hearing. What's up with us, man? Starting wars all the time. What the fuck?
Starting cryptid wars now. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I was thinking like, okay, it's gonna be like one day Dogman rolled up, killed a baby Bigfoot, and they've been fighting ever since. No, it's like, you know what? We're being attacked by these big assholes. There's these other big assholes down the road.
Yeah.
Let's steal something of theirs, chuck it into the other guy's house, and then haul ass.
Yeah, and that's pretty much how it is, man. It's always weird lores and myths all around America about. I mean, dude, I read the United States of Cryptids, and there's just the stupidest cryptids that people see. Man, stupid name like snallygasters, and it sounds like stuff off of Harry Potter, man. It's weird, like snallygasters, wampus cats. There's a bunch of them, man. It's just weird animals. And I know there's people out there that are probably listening. It's like, they're not weird, they're real. But I just can't get behind a 6-legged cat, dude. 6-legged mountain lion running around the woods.
Yeah, it's not very efficient form of evolution. But no, okay. So, but let me just stick on that for a second. So you mentioned people out there who are so adamantly believing in all types of cryptids. Okay, so if there was a cryptid that was real, I would have to give some more credibility to the idea of a Dogman than I would say like a werewolf. The idea to me of a creature changing in the moonlight, you know, first, like, come on. Like, okay, first of all, you have to agree to some kind of scientific thing where like the sunlight rays have some kind of effect on skin, and then there's like, you know, there's a mutation. Anyway, so like that's problematic. But if you're talking about a creature that is always the same form, like a bipedal 5-6 foot tall wolf-like creature that mates and is out there and is like flesh and blood, okay, you got me listening, because that would make more sense to me than the idea of something transforming. What's the credibility level for Dogman for you?
I do think Dogman is 100% real. In the werewolf, I'm aware, like cryptid, my favorite all time is werewolf. Like I've read every werewolf book. That's my thing. I've been a werewolf for Halloween, like all that stuff, right? And I think the big difference, like you said, is they could shift from man to beast and then beast. But the thing with Dogman, you know, and I've talked to other people that are more knowledgeable about this than me, and is it a government experiment gone wrong? I mean, what is it?
Yeah, yep. I think you hit the nail on the head. That's where my mind always goes with stuff like this. Somebody out there with a lot of money and a secret lab screwing with things and splicing something together. Like, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and that was my biggest thing. And then they were like, no, because, you know, they've been around for so long. And I'm like, yeah, but why did they just pop up? We've known about Bigfoot forever, right? Bigfoot's been around, golly, I I'm releasing an episode tomorrow about Theodore Roosevelt's thought on Bigfoot. And it's not an encounter, but it's thought. He was told a Bigfoot story, and then, but the stuff like that, right? But Dogman, it just came out of nowhere and took the world by storm. And over the past couple of years, it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's everywhere. It's on TikTok. It's on YouTube. It's on every form of social media. You see something about a Dogman. And I think it replaced the werewolf in a way now, to where, I mean, I do think it's real, but I don't know. I don't want, if they can track you 30 miles, I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, and especially if it could make friends with Bigfoot and end the wars and just turn on humanity.
Yeah.
We're really screwed.
Right? A guy had a story that he told that he lived out in the country and he was getting harassed by Bigfoot, and he did the opposite of what everybody else does. He went and got the Dogman to come fight these Bigfoot for him, and now they live peacefully, which is, I don't know how you live peacefully with an apex predator, but they do. But supposedly the Bigfoot would chase him into his septic tank at his house, and he got tired of it, so he bought 2 big dogs. I forgot what they were, cane corsos or something. Bigfoot killed one, the other dog ran off. He couldn't find the dog for a week, and so he ran out there with his gun, and he said, I'm going to war with these Bigfoot. And he ran out there, and he got to the edge of his property, and he could see the Bigfoot right there, and they were getting ready to come out, and all of a sudden his dog shot past him, ran to the Bigfoot, and these 2 things bent down. They were on all fours, and they were 6 foot tall, run past him, and they demolished these 2 Bigfoots in less than 5 minutes. They killed completely. And then he was like, well, I guess that's what people call Dogman.
Could have been wolves, right?
I mean, 6 foot tall back though, big ass wolf.
They were on all fours, right?
Yeah, they were on fours, so they got to the woods and they stood up.
Oh, they stood up. Okay, okay, dude. Yeah, because I'm thinking, like, how the hell did he like get Dogman to help? But it sounded like his cane corso was like, you know, fuck this.
I need
I'm
help.
going to get my big brother. Like, I'm gonna fuck you up.
And then supposedly, and 4 or 5 years ago, and I guess update, he's still living fine with the Dogman on his property. He just feeds him whatever.
Is that guy like willing to talk to people?
I don't know, bro. That's one of those stories I read on a forum. So, I mean, I don't know.
And this was in Texas, or where was this?
I think it was out in the East Coast.
Okay.
Or it might have been the South. It might have been like, when I looked up Dogman encounters, and like I said, there was only 4 in Texas, and I read the 1. So like, we go to like Pennsylvania, where you're at, right?
Yeah.
There's 2 in Washington County and Bucks County, wherever that's at. And then
Bucks County, that's like northeast.
There's one there.
Yeah, I used to go up there when I was younger for camping and stuff. It's a nice area.
Damn, all the way out to Bucks County for camping?
I never heard of Dogman growing up. No, I mean, obviously werewolves, but you know, and just as in general lore and movies and stuff. But I had never heard of Dogman growing up in Western PA.
We're all the same age, and if not around it, like we didn't 90s and early 2000s, bro. We had werewolves. That was it.
Yeah,
we didn't have Dogman.
Like, do you think like people saw werewolves and they're just calling them Dogman now, or you think there's actually people that can transform into like buff ass wolves? And
okay, I'm glad you asked that question. I was figuring out how to bring this up without I'm glad you asked. I was waiting. All right, cool. So here we go. So when you get high enough in, okay, it's gonna get deep, buckle up once again. So when you get high enough in a certain organization, you have to make 2 paths, right? You've already done the soul selling thing. You've already done, you know, you're up there. You sacrifice people. You've done your thing. So you can choose 2 paths. You can take the vampiric route or the werewolf route. Most people don't take the werewolf route because if you think about it, if you're trying to transform your body into something that's 10 to 12 foot tall, and an average man is what, 5'11", 6 foot, you're growing 4 feet, 5 foot, you know, your fingers have to stretch. Everything has to stretch. Your teeth have to stretch. And imagine the pain. So most of those people, they take the vampiric route because it's easier than being a werewolf. But for me, if I had to choose, I'd be a werewolf all day, dude. You go out in the sun, live a normal life, and you don't have to worry about it. But I do think there are real werewolves, but I don't think like what Hollywood just portrays as werewolves.
Do you think that they change under their own will, or does it have to involve the moon?
I think if you're a younger werewolf, it would have to be the moon. But as you get older and more experienced, I think you can change at will. Like if you feel threatened, kind of like the best way I could describe it for me, how I put it together was, you remember the first Underworld when they were fighting?
Yeah.
And
that was yep.
And that dude got hit with that whip, and he turned around and ripped his vest off and just fucking transformed right there. Yeah. Like I think once you get older, like he was portrayed as being old, you can transform on your own. Like you don't have to have a moon or a certain cycle to be on, or some type of ritual to make you can just boom, you're there. You can turn straight into werewolf.
This is what piques my interest in this type of story, or this cryptid idea, is that you're not just talking about physical nature anymore. You're entering into the realm of like spirituality, or something to do with religion, or some kind of otherworldly power source.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting concept too, because like so many people in this world believe in different types of religions and the metaphysical and all that good stuff. When you start mixing it into the idea of, say, like something that can transform like a skinwalker, you have to accept the fact too that whatever force is allowing this to happen is also hiding these creatures. Because if they were just flesh and blood, like Bigfoot or Dogman, some people claim that those creatures are just flesh and blood, then, you know, we're missing bones. We're, you know, people, like, it's just so unlikely that somebody would not come across them and shoot and kill one, or have some kind of, you know, skeletal. So to me, that says if they're real, then there's got to be something hiding them. There's got to be some kind, like we talked about this before too, Chris, like where there has to be either something very powerful that is shadowing them, or like making them go away from this reality, or making sure they don't get caught, or those creatures themselves, like you're saying, Polar Bear, like they're part of this transition where they gain power as they go down a secret organization or whatever. They're able to hide themselves. But for me, that's even a little bit iffy, because then you're talking about, well, you know, you have to have all of those people make sure that they don't screw up and transform in front of somebody else, or, you know, die getting caught like in the fight or something like that, and then, you know, somebody finding the true nature of them. So like that's where this stuff gets really interesting for me. Like, how do they hide? Why do they hide? Like, how, like what powers do they, like, why does this happen? Like, it's just, it's crazy. It's a whole branch of cryptid discussion.
I have an idea. I don't want to say they're interdimensional beings, because that makes it sound like they can, what's the word I'm looking for? They have some sort of like very high intelligence, akin to extraterrestrials or very intelligent civilization. Who knows? Maybe over time they evolve the ability to camouflage really well. That's why we can't find them. We only see them when they want us to see them. As far as remains, that is a good question, because where are the Dogman remains, you know?
Yeah.
Where are the bones type stuff?
So some of the legends say that Bigfoot bury their own, right? They bury their dead. They're very closer to humans than what we think. And then if you live where I'm at, if something dies, it'll get eaten in less than a week, right? It'll be gone because the humidity, the heat, the bugs, the critters, coyotes, everything's, all the scavengers will get it. So that could explain a lot of like the bones missing, because a lot of the Dogman encounters that I've came across come out of the South, come from Texas to Florida, right? Where it's hot, humid, disgusting. And so I don't think you would find bones there. But with you saying Bigfoot is interdimensional, I mean, you're opening up a can of worms with a lot of researchers. Use that lightly, because anybody says they're an expert is full of shit, because I mean, how are you gonna be an expert of something that, you know what I mean? And I had a guy that tell me that, and he's like, if somebody says they're an expert, they're full of fucking shit. And he like, this is what he does. That's a huge argument in the Bigfoot world. Are they interdimensional, or are they flesh and blood, or are they both? Me, I look at it as like, if you look at a cougar, right? You're up in the mountains, you will not see a cougar until it's too late, right? If a mountain lion wants you, right? Same thing with snow leopards. Same thing with all these different types of animals. They blend so well, you'll never see them. So for the Bigfoot and Dogman world, like, you could have walked past it and never even noticed it. Because most of the time when we're doing stuff these days, we don't pay attention to anything that's outside of our peripheral, right? Anything that we don't see.
Yeah. Zero situational awareness.
Yeah.
I agree.
And some people have it, like a very few, but 98% of today's population does not have it. They don't care about anything except their phone and what's in front of them.
Dude, 100%. I'll go fucking hiking with like my wife and stuff, and everybody's just walking down the path. I'm like looking around. They're like, "What are you looking for?" I'm like, "Just being aware."
Dogman.
Not just Dogman, like fucking timber rattlesnakes and shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, falling from the tree like that one time. Oh my god.
Oh god, dude. Yeah. Quick story.
Quick side story. This is funny.
What was it, like 10 years ago, right? When we were in grad
Yeah,
school. We're
yeah.
running in the park. We get to the clearing where it like opens up to the park proper, and the left side is just fields, but the right side
Just
is still
got done
wooded.
running. Mm-hmm.
And we're walking by this tree, and like maybe a good 30 feet, it's a good 30 feet away into the grass from the pavement. This fucking big ass snake falls like 20
Just
feet
falls
onto the fucking ground.
out of the tree. It
I'm like,
came right
what
out of the
the
tree.
fuck is that?
I think we like walk right under that area too for like not long before, and we
Yeah,
were
we
joking like
did.
it was trying to fall on Chris because Chris is mortified of snakes.
Yeah, I fucking hate him. It's gotten better now
Okay,
because I've seen so many in Western
yeah.
PA.
But the universe paid you back because you got the that set of shoes from that Steeler, the NFL guy, right? Wasn't it
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Steelers?
yeah.
That
Yeah,
was really
Steelers
fucking
running
cool.
back. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
see,
anyway, go
yeah.
on, Polar Bear.
But yeah, it's a debate that'll always be there until we have a body of either one laying in front of us. But if there, and my thing, I always tell people, they have found remains of giants. They have found things like that. And who comes and gets them? The fucking Smithsonian. And you never see it again. So if somebody has shot a Bigfoot and or Dogman out there, the Smithsonian got it and they covered it up. Because if you do have a brutal encounter like that one old boy, his encounter was so violent, they had to send a special forces army team in to kill this rogue Bigfoot. And he was on a really big show. I'm not going to drop the names. I don't want, but he got attacked. Him and his buddy, they were in a boat, they were fishing, and they get attacked by this Bigfoot. This thing's throwing fucking boulders at their boat. Lands on his friend, breaks his leg. He's trying to shoot at it. They're trying to figure, it's just mass chaos going on. This thing's screaming. They don't know if it's a bear. They just see something 10 foot tall throwing fucking boulders. They go to the hospital. They're there 20 minutes. This guy's telling everybody, man, this thing attacked us. This is an animal. It's not a bear. It's not a bear. It's not a bear. These men come in. And they say, man, you saw a bear. He said, no, I didn't see no fucking bear. No bear throws rocks. And they're like, no, you saw a bear. I don't hear anything else about it. He's like, no, I didn't see a bear. He's arguing with them. So he's getting out and he's telling people, dude, I saw a Bigfoot attack. Well, they come beat on his door. You're going to be quiet or we're going to make you be quiet. He said, the world needs to know that these things are out here. They said, that's not your job to tell them. They froze his fucking bank accounts, crashed his credit, did everything, made him lose his job, all because he wouldn't be quiet. Then he went back to the spot where he was attacked, got out there, and they had a special forces training drill set up in that area. Never had military presence in that area before, but they had special forces of all things out there training in that area to hunt this rogue Bigfoot is what they were doing. Because I believe that that's why they have national parks and shit like that, because they keep them away from people. But as we keep expanding and getting bigger, we're going to everybody's territory now. That's why people have coyotes in their backyard in the city or bobcats, and all these things are missing pets. Alligators are eating dogs because we're expanding. So why wouldn't a Bigfoot be there? Or a Dogman or something like that,
You say rogue Bigfoot. What do you mean by rogue Bigfoot? Like, what would make it a rogue Bigfoot?
There's several different types. There's the Genosqua, which are stone giants, which that's what it translates to. They would wear like armor and stuff to fight I forget which native tribe it was they fought, but they would fight them. And then once they got guns, the natives started beating their ass because there was nothing they could do. And they look more, I forget what they look like. Then you have the Gugway, right? They look more like a baboon type face, and it basically translates to face eater because that's what they do. They eat people. Then you have the Patty type, real docile, real chill. Most of the time you see it, it's just going to move. That's the encounters most people have, and they keep moving. Well, then you'll get the rogue patties that are, I don't know if they have rabies or whatever, and they go fucking berserk and they start killing everything and everybody that comes in their path. It doesn't matter. So then that's when I think the government shifts into high drive and they're like, all right, we got to kill this fucking thing. And they go find it and they kill it and take it off in a helicopter somewhere.
Inevitably, it just dribbles down to the why, the motive. I'm enthralled by these stories. These are really interesting stories. And I want to hear more about it, but I want to know from you, like, why does the government care to hide them? Like, is there some kind of connect? Like, do they reveal something about our nature, like say aliens or something that they don't want people to know about? And if so, why? Maybe it's an interdimensional thing, like, but if they're just flesh and blood, they must have been part of the chain of existence that doesn't necessarily imply something, stranger or that would freak people out. They would just be something to study. So like what have you heard about the why would the government, why would the military, even the military, like, so you're talking about the military knowing about these things. You have to look at the government too. So like the government, the 3-letter agencies that are the the national agencies that do the spooky stuff, they're not always connected to the Department of Defense, Special Force, and all that stuff. So like you're talking about two varieties of different types of upper echelon entities with real people who are really occupying the jobs that you're talking about. The guys who showed up in the hospital to kind of keep this guy quiet, like they have a job, they have a motive, they have a reason, they're working for some agency or something, some powerful structure doing this job. And so why is the government expanding across agencies and Department of Defense utilizing resources to keep this quiet in your wildest guess, or like what you've heard about?
From what I heard and from what I'm gathered, because I've been researching this for so long, the Bigfoot thing. I just got into Dogman like a few years ago, but Bigfoot been researching forever. It doesn't fit their narrative. It doesn't fit what they've told us to believe for so long. If they came on tomorrow and said, all right, we've lied about everything. There's 10 to 12 foot apes running around, bipedal apes running around the national forest, stay the fuck out of them. Our society, the first thing they're going to do is get in their vehicle and drive to the national forest and try to find these things. And then it's going to cause mass chaos because people don't grasp the concept of how big a Bigfoot is described, right? These things are described as, like I said, 10 to 12 foot tall, 12 to 1,300 pounds, solid muscle, huge. And some dumbass would probably try to go after it with a fucking 22 and think, I'm going to get one. And it would just, and I think it would just cause eruption from all levels, and it would destroy everything they've told us.
Oh, wait, hold on. Not just that, but you just injected an idea into me, which is, I think, would work for you. Ready? So just like that whole stupid Area 51 thing that was trending for a while ago. Remember that? Where you guys remember like
Area 51.
Everyone's going to storm Area 51. I think you're onto something with this Bigfoot. The reason why they would want to do this is exactly what you said, Polar Bear. It's like if you had an idiot with a 22 trying to go take down a Bigfoot because he's like, hey, let's go get it. He's going to inadvertently launch a war with 10-foot creatures that may be interdimensional that we can't do jack shit about. And there's going to be 1,000,000 or 1,000 of them sweeping through, and like, it'll be like a zombie apocalypse, but with Bigfoots, which, by the way, patent pending on that movie. That would be an awesome fucking movie.
That would be a good movie.
And for people that would say we would win that war, we fucking wouldn't.
Oh, no.
In Australia,
we fucking annihilated, dude.
We couldn't fucking beat emus. We lost the war to fucking emus.
Yeah, exactly. We're not going to beat a bunch of fucking 10 to 12 foot monsters that can just rip your door off with one fucking tug. Yeah, no, your house isn't going to stop them, bro. They're coming in.
Yeah, watch Harry and the Hendersons.
Yeah.
Oh, great movie. Okay, what if we're all sitting here and then like we were looking at each other's camera angles, and then like a Bigfoot just like material behind each one of us, and we're like, oh fuck, we talked about the wrong thing.
Here
like
we go.
Snap.
Yeah.
Dead.
Like,
but that's the thing. Like, if they did reveal it, and people would try to go get it, it's not just the patty type, right? It's not just the
chill one.
Yeah, you got the fucking, and look it up. Like when y'all are chilling, look up Janosquas and Gugway. Look up Gugway, and look how violent those fucking things are. Look at the encounters that people have with them. Most of them don't live. So the ones that do escape, they describe the same thing. And these things attack on sight. It's on sight. They see you, they're coming after you. There is no, oh, I'm gonna walk away. No, they're here. They fucking come like a freight train through the woods. And there's nothing you can do. I don't think they would ever reveal that, because then they would have to admit they lied about everything, and that would just not go over very well with a lot of people.
And to put it in perspective of how big these things are, you just mentioned height. You don't mention how wide they are and how muscular they are. Take LeBron James, who is 6'9", and stack a LeBron James on top of him.
Yes.
That is how big these fucking things are. And your average man is what, 5'9", 5'10"?
Yeah, maybe 6 foot.
Maybe 6 foot. Yeah, that's no.
It's not. And you're looking at 12 to 1,300 pounds, bro, per unit. And they're muscle. They're not fat, because they're fucking muscle. Dean, you had the encounter where it was shaking the fucking pine tree. You know what I mean? Like, and people think, oh yeah, they tell us I'm gonna go get one. No, you're not. You're just going to end up in a body bag, and somebody's going to bury you. You're not going to go get one. Chill out, bro. You're not that cool. Not every civilian in America is packing a 50 cal that can knock one of these things down. Hopefully. We don't even know if they can knock it down. That's just what people write in books. It might just piss it
Yeah,
off.
if you throw in the whole perspective of how we have so many stories of people shooting at these things and they never land a shot, and even if they do, there's no blood or there's no like damage apparently. So maybe there is a supernatural or otherworldly thing going on that just makes them immune or incapable of being hit by a bullet.
Bring back to what I said earlier. That dude shot at that fucking Dogman and it tracked him for 30 miles. So you really think you're going to win a war against something that can just, and it knew you shot at it and here it comes? That's like that guy that was hunting that lion in Africa and it's on YouTube. He shoots that fucking lion. It turns and knows that he shot at it and went right after him. Luckily, he had those guys there. They light it up and it dies like 3 feet in front of him. If not, it was going to get him. Yeah, you can look at that video. It's fucking wild, dude. He knew the guy that shot at him.
Yeah, I have no sympathy for people that go hunting wild animals for trophies and they get fucked up. Like that's a you problem. That's between you and God. Like I will not have any sympathy for you. Like you see these motherfuckers shooting giraffes, like some of the most docile creatures on the planet. Like what the fuck is wrong with you?
And they enjoy it, man, and that's crazy. Like I'm a hunter, but I have no need to ever go hunt in Africa because I don't want to. I don't want to kill a lion. I don't want to kill any of those things. I'm good with deer and things that I can actually eat and do something with.
Right? Yeah, yeah. So it's like has to be practical. Like it's always this stupid, super rich and elite that do dumb shit like that.
Yeah, they do, and they get away with it, and it's just. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on the Bigfoot thing.
We talk about this sometimes too, where you eventually have to address the fact that these stories go across not just different times but different cultures, right? Mm-hmm. So why do you think that these other encounters in other countries who presumably don't have the same level of control that these government organizations that swoop in have, or like they can't get into those places, and you're talking about countries that they can't fully operate on the level that say a Western power could? Like I mean I guess you could argue that the media control that is kind of a funnel or a filter that comes to us would pull out these stories and kind of like wash over them. But I guess that's where my mind always goes with these stories. Like, you have alien cover-ups, you have cryptid cover-ups, you have supernatural cover, like all this stuff. But for that to happen, there'd have to be like a cutoff source from other people experiencing these encounters in other countries across the globe. Because like we know, like what's Australia's got the what's the name of the Yowie, and there's the Yeti and the Nepal and stuff like that. So like, have you done any research about these sorts of things happening in other countries?
Yeah, and most of it that I found is just the same thing. They just like here, they just label them as crazy and move on from it. But I think we're filtered by a lot of the shit we can see anyway and look up. So if someone does have a Yowie encounter or something like that, which is another very violent one, a Yowie, I think they just cover it. It's the same thing they do here, I think. But that's everybody knows I'm a conspiracy theorist. So like, but the governments, they're all controlled by one body anyway. So they're probably all the same thing. Keep it. Don't tell nobody anything. Don't let them know. Even if they see it, you tell them they didn't see it. And I think in other countries, they're more scared of their government than we are too, though.
Oh, dude, I'm so afraid for the moment in human history when advanced robotics becomes a thing that is easily mass reproducible and very, very efficient in, being able to control or exude force. That's when we're fucked. I think that we as a people, as if the bad people who are, for reasons that they are bad, for the selves that they are, they reach a higher echelon of power because they're willing to step on and do all kinds of terrible things. That trajectory keeps going, and we reach a level where like they can have a secret lab and $1 billion and their own staff to create these I don't know, genetically engineered super weapons or robotics or anything you can possibly imagine that would give them unbridled control and power. Then you don't have to have like a Gestapo level organization of humans to do your bidding. You just have to press a button, right? And then you can suppress and kill and maim and and then the human race is now looking at enslavement again. Or maybe they just decide that they don't need all of us. They can recreate all the joy and pleasure that they want to with robots and all that stuff, or go to space and do whatever, and then they just like either leave us to our own demise or wipe us out. I seriously think that is the reason why we don't see other advanced cultures in the cosmos, because when you get to that level of capability and intelligence, it's just natural to where they either wipe themselves out or they wipe like 99% of their intelligent population out, and then there's that 1% who just doesn't give a fuck about the rest of the galaxy or life, because they're just, you know, doing the whatever pleasure that they want or life that they want to live amongst themselves. And like, I don't know, like, have you ever come across something like that idea or anything to add to that?
Well, the only thing I've been recently seeing about robots was that the guy who created Chat GPT, I think it is, he carries a kill switch in his backpack because he's afraid.
Oh, you talking about Sam Altman? Is that
Mhm.
the guy?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And so
But then NVIDIA,
that's got to be a sign right there.
yeah. Then I read an article that NVIDIA, though, is pushing for their AI development to not contain a backdoor or a kill switch. So
God.
yeah. So like, this is what I was just talking about a moment ago. Like, there's no governing body
Mhm.
to make sure like there's any oversight to make sure these things don't happen on a smaller level or like a more private level of decision making. You know, maybe we have a kill switch for one AI, but another AI pops up and there's no way to shut it off. It's like,
Right.
well, now we're really screwed.
They say movies are just what the government's planning on doing, right? They're not really movies. I, Robot, that movie right there was terrifying what those robots were doing. And it definitely could happen. I don't see why it wouldn't. And who knows where it could happen in our lifetime. I mean,
I still believe that there are good pockets. You know, there are good people and who are smart and powerful and so all this stuff. I really hope that those people are like, they're already thinking about this problem. I know, but it's just like, who's going to win first? Who's going to beat out the other one first? Is it going to be the altruistic people who want humanity to continue on and all the good stuff that we enjoy and yada yada, or is it going to be the assholes who see us as, you know, piss ants and we're not worth anything or whatever. And if they get the ability to replicate power and project it, then it's not going to matter. All the good in the world. And then you have to start asking questions about like, well, you know, religion and all that stuff, the good versus the evil. And man, it just gets so complicated and so heavy.
The final battle is going to be humans getting the Bigfoot to fight the robots.
I was just thinking that they're going to recruit the
Bigfoot, the
Dogman.
Dogman. Listen, guys, we fought each other, but now we're all going to die if we don't fight together.
Yeah. And then we'll eventually win. You know, the King Bigfoot will take them all out.
Yeah, right. and then Bigfoot will enslave us, and then it'll be the spiral again.
Exactly. Then we're back to square one, and
back to square one, rubbing sticks together.
Back for the big battle. We'll all come over the hill with the Bigfoot and Dogman, and Thunderstruck by AC/DC will start playing, and we just storm in and take out the robots. Bigfoot just whooping ass, ripping heads off.
You know the humans are going to hang back from that one. They're going to be like, let's charge it, and then they just kind of slow down a little bit. Like, oh, you got it. You're faster than. We'll be there.
We're going to get the little ones. We'll get the ones that scatter off.
Yeah, that doesn't be my dumbass. Like, yeah, let's go. I'll be the only human in the action.
No, there's always gonna be one.
Dude, you're gonna be the guy who walks up with a sword where like one of the robots is like sputtering, and you just like stick a sword in it, like oh, I did it, I took it out. Woo! Like, okay, buddy, the battle's already over.
I got one.
Like South Park. I got one.
I got one straggler. You know,
did you guys see the most recent episode of South Park with the ice or whatever? Oh god, it's so fucking funny. I won't ruin it, but if you get a chance, it's out. We could have talked about it today because it was kind of like there was like a little dog joke in there that you'll see. But yeah, South Park they're getting back at it, man. It's getting nuts.
Yeah, they stopped giving a fuck. I want to see the new King of the Hill. That's what I'm excited
about.
Yeah. Yeah.
That looks like a good one.
But I have to find
Bobby Hill all grown up.
Working at a sushi restaurant. Yeah, that's pretty. It's not where I seen his life going, but okay, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Never makes him happy. Yeah,
I just watched Beavis and Butthead. Have you guys seen Beavis and Butthead in a while?
I haven't seen it in years.
Yeah, I just rewatched it as an adult, and I totally forgot that one character who was like pre-Hank Hill was like he was like the guy who got. You remember he kept getting screwed over by the Beavis and Butthead. It was the same voice. Yeah,
neighbor.
The neighbor. Oh damn it, Bobby!
Oh damn!
Oh my god. Anyway, sorry, Polar Bear. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say, we've already used Bigfoot once, to help win a war. So why not use him for the Great Robot?
World War II, right?
World War II, yeah.
So maybe we can go 2 for 2, see if he'll help out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Pull in the abominable snowman with him. He gets all the
the
backup
Yeti.
we can get. The Yeti, yeah.
Dude, that's those fucking AI videos, man. The Yeti.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the AI Yeti and Bigfoot videos. Those are fucking hilarious.
They're a trip, man. Definitely the AI thing is something to worry about. But I don't know if it'll be our lifetime because we're in like the infant stage, I think.
Yeah.
But there's so much shit out there you can't even tell if it's real or not now.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, it is kind of scary. Because we talked about that, Dean, like those fucking fake news articles and shit that people will start generating about things, and you have to pay particular attention for deformities in the actual creation because AI cannot replicate perfectly yet when they create something. So just got to be careful there. Polar Bear, I appreciate you coming back on the show.
Oh yeah,
and we got to get you back because we got to talk some conspiracy theories, and that'll be like a disclaimer episode on that one, because I know with conspiracy theories, like me personally, I don't take that shit, like I don't get offended by that shit, but I know like some people go up in arms about conspiracy theories, be like, no, you're wrong, yada yada yada.
Oh yeah, dude, you got to put entertainment purposes only. It's not I'm not trying to destroy your whole life and way of thinking, but when once they turn the episode off, and then they're like, that motherfucker was on to something. Hold on, let me go back and check this out. Like, I got you.
I just don't want to be a target of higher forces. That's all I want. I just want to have a nice thought experiment in my comfortable home with my friends, and we're just talking about what ifs. We're just, it's all for fun.
They're all big what ifs.
Yeah,
but because I think I know we talked last time about the city under the mountain with the Patriot list and all that. I reread the book, and we'll definitely have to come back because that's like a whole hour in itself just talking about that one and everything they plan and stuff like that.
Yeah. So little sneak peek, listeners. Apparently, if you've purchased ammo, you are on a list.
And it's not the list you want to be on. It's not a. It's a high priority list, but you're not major holidays. Don't be at your house or family's houses. Don't drink, and just stay alert is basically the only warning that is given about that list.
Yeah. The last thing I want to drop as another hint on there is, have you seen the news article recently? I think it came out a few months ago. It's about this, and I completely forget the names. I have to go back and pull it out of my notes, but there's a company that is ultra luxurious bunkers. I think there's supposed to be like 1,000 of them built. Like, this is a real thing. This is not a conspiracy. This is a real company with real assets and resources that's actually building these luxury bunkers where you can purchase like a room and a bed for like $20 million. I think like the cheapest level is $20 million. You reserve your space in this basically like Fallout level, like a Fallout game level sort of thing. But it's just, that's a red flag, because think about it. Even if this company was private and they're like, oh, let's, we think that we see some problems and we're going to make some money off of this, but it's really just selling fear to ultra rich people, nothing's going to happen. No, you don't spend resources, but you have knowledge either through research or insider trading, baseball, whatever, that some shit is going to go down in the next 10, 20 years. And so you're selling $20 million beds underground. There's no greater red flag than that. We're not talking conspiracy anymore. We're talking reality.
Yeah. And most of the things that go with that, dude, they are truth. Like I said, I reread the book, and holy fuck, man. Everything that's in that book, on the next episode, I'll tell people the book, but everything that's in that fucking book, dude, it's played out in front of us, man. And like one little snippet, he says, build little Johnny up, send Johnny to war. That way little Johnny doesn't come back unless he's a good boy. And it's like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's deep, bro. It's deep. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, the next one we'll dive all into it, man. I've been ready. And that's what people are like, oh, you need to do conspiracies on your shows. I'm like, it's hard when you're doing it by yourself. It's hard to just stare at the camera and talk about conspiracies. And nobody to debate with. Yeah, you have nobody to debate with. What are you gonna laugh at your own jokes and people are gonna think you're fucking weird
Right.
and unsubscribe?
See, if,
You know?
when we do that show, we need to preface, like we said already, like this is a thought experiment. This is for fun, and
Mhm.
we're not all on the same side of this discussion. So, like, we'll have a discourse back and forth where it's like, well, did you think about this? So it'll be a discussion. It won't be just like throwing things out there.
Yeah.
We'll have to
Yeah.
preface that.
Not like the Bigfoot thing where I just lay down Bigfoot facts. We'll actually just kind of go back and forth, debate type,
Yeah,
make it
Yeah.
more fun.
Yeah,
that would be
that'll
fun.
be fun. Yeah, that'll be fun. But yeah, little sneak peek there, listeners. So keep tuning in. We'll get Polar Bear back on for that conspiracy episode. So it'll be super fun. But Polar Bear, to wrap up the show, tell the people where they could find you and where they could find your podcast, Highway of the Hidden.
So you can find Highway of the Hidden on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. I'm posting weekly. Every Friday, a new episode drops. I'm on TikTok, Polar Bear HOTH. You can go on there, check it out if you have a story, whether it be cryptid, paranormal, or conspiracy. And if you want to debate, I'm more than welcome to hear you out. You can email me at polarbearhoth@gmail.com. TikTok, Instagram, polarbearhoth, and Facebook. Highway of the Hidden Facebook page is now up and running, so you can DM that too if you want to.
You heard him, folks. Go give him a follow. Go listen to his show. Help him grow. He's a good dude. Good platform. Great show. And I enjoy listening to it.
Thank you.
And once again, folks, thank you for tuning into today's episode. Tune in for the next one with Polar Bear where we talk conspiracies. Thanks for tuning into today's episode of The Wandering Road. You can find us on Apple, Google, Spotify, and most podcast platforms. Be sure to subscribe and share. Also, don't forget to give a follow on Instagram at twroadpodcast and follow my TikTok at twrpodcast. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next one.